Greetings and salutations to all of you beautiful listeners. Welcome to KittyFox Radio. Don't know what to call this yet. I'm just trying to be Alistair right now. It's not working. Salutations. Good to be back on the air. Um, Side note before we get started, I have been rewatching Has Been Hotel again. It's probably my fourth time watching through it, so it's still good after all this time. I've been listening to the soundtrack still nonstop for about, well, ever since it came out. So yeah, honestly, that slaps. Like, it is probably one of the better albums I heard in a long time as far as an animation goes. Um, and I'm excited for season two, but I'm also like really happy with still the blast radius, as it were, of season one and what it's brought and manifested. I'm enjoying seeing all the art and memes still to this day and how it's still relevant and all this stuff. So yeah, if any of you have not seen Has Been Hotel, go check it out. It's on Amazon Prime for for free, but you need a Prime account. You know, you need a subscription. Anyway, that is a shameless plug. You're welcome, Vizzy. Please call me. We'll do a collaboration. Probably not going to happen. Um, hey, speaking of animations and animated shows, there is a show that I recently got into, which I was kind of toying around with for the past few months because I'd always seen references to it, and the second episode just came out like yesterday or the day before. Um, the Amazing Digital Circus. Some of you may know what it is, some of you may not. It's basically like an independent. Um, it looks like a '90s animated YouTube series that um, kind of delves into that old school, like blocky, polygonic, cringy, creepy, liminal feel type animation. Basically, like what Toy Story started out to be. Like it's that Toy Story style animation. Um, or if you want to go even further back, like I don't Gumby. I think Gumby's more like uh claymation, but what's that? There's a there's a very specific um show movie. I don't know what you want to call it. Back in the 90s, it was called Elroy's Toy. Does anybody remember this TV special called Elroy's Toy? It was basically a kid sitting in front of a giant computer terminal, like the old Windows 95 computer terminal, and there's this little dude who just like appears on the screen and starts talking to him, and then he's like, "Whoa, who are you?" And the dude looks like kind of looks like Sporky from Toy Story 4, but he's got like a really weird auto-generated voice like this, and he's computer generated. I'm tired. Anyway, it's that type of animation. So if you all look up Elroy's Toy and the Amazing Digital Circus, it's got that same vibe to it. So yeah, I watched the first two episodes officially. I know the first episode came out like in, want to say like October of last year or maybe earlier than that, but yeah, it's pretty good. I like it. Definitely my kind of humor, definitely my kind of style of humor, and it has what I like most is like it's got that creepy, eerie, like liminal space kind of feel. Like if you played or seen any of like the Backrooms stuff, but uh, it it well okay, so Backrooms is pretty obvious, but really any like pixelated or auto-generated or AI generated like graphical space, that's meant to be graphic. Like you can tell it's computerized and it's just got that eerie like empty feeling to it. Like it's almost like an agoraphobic feeling. I think that's my favorite thing about Digital Circus. It's also like super dark in some places, and well, not well. It's dark in terms of like concept, but it's also like the lighting is dark in some places, and some of the things that happen are pretty messed up. So the charm of it just kind of makes you feel on edge and just a little inside, if you know what I'm saying. So yeah, highly recommend it. Though I'll probably preach into the choir, like, yeah, we already know about Amazing Digital Circus, so what? It's like, well, it's actually pretty good. Funny enough, there is a maker, a fursuit maker that I follow, who made a Pomni fursuit. I met them at ZipCon 2 months ago, and they were wearing a Pomni fursuit. I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool, actually. Like, I did not expect to see that. So, yeah, shout out to Shade Stuck for making that suit. It looks awesome. So, that's been the entertainment for this week. The biggest, I have a little list I had to write down for topics. Furry Week in Atlanta is coming up this week. I can't believe it. FWA has approached so fast since my last con, which was Motor City, and I can't believe we're already on the week that it's happening. I'll be leaving here on Wednesday night, so fairly early, and I'll be traveling by plane, thankfully, and we'll be getting into the hotel probably around 11 o'clock at night or something. So I'm excited. I'm excited to be there early and to experience it. I've told this story before, but I actually have been to the hotel block, the FWA hotel block, as it were, and it's got like three or four different hotels connected to it by Skywalk. But it's like in right in the heart of downtown Atlanta, Georgia. It's huge, huge area. So I went to Dragon Con back in 2022, and that was a great vibe. Like that was a really good con. Same hotel area, same space, all that stuff. I actually met some furries at Dragon Con, which was super awesome. Um, and I'm going back there, so I'm already familiar with the area. I'm familiar with how the hotels connect and where to go and that kind of thing. I went with a fellow fur friend of mine who lives down there locally, so we'll be rooming with him, and we'll have a couple others joining us from the great state of Ohio all the way down to Georgia. So I'm really excited. I cannot wait. This will be my first FWA, FWA, as they say. Also, furries with alcohol, I heard recently. That's what FWA stands for, which kind of makes sense. But hey, drink responsibly and drink only if you're of legal age. That is my disclaimer, please. Um, so yeah, I'll be going there Wednesday night. I'll be staying until next Monday. It's going to be a great con, great vibe. I'm going to be seeing a lot of people that I'm excited to see and cannot wait to hug and to spend time with. So yeah, I'm basically going to work 3 days and then leave for Atlanta. So I'm super pumped about that. Besides FWA, well, actually, now that I mention it, uh, I've had a lot of people contact me and go, "Oh my gosh, you're going to FWA! Holy crap, I'm gonna see you!" I'm like, "Yeah, you're gonna see me." On the subject of FWA, it's actually kind of interesting how this is gonna work. I don't know how it'll work, but let's just say that I commissioned something not too long ago. And the person who has since completed the commission as of yesterday, and they contacted me today and they said, "Hey, I'm shipping it to you." And I'm like, "Oh, oh, uh, well, I better get here because um, I'm leaving for FWA here soon, so you know." So nervous laughter. I really hope it gets here. I can't say what it is yet. That's the thing is I'm not allowed to say what it is just yet. It's painful to me to have to hold it back, but because I am planning a full-on debut with it, so that's coming up here very soon. I do have a plan. If it ends up showing up like after I leave on Wednesday, then I'm gonna have one of my local fur friends who actually lives not too far from me come to my house and like intercept it. So he's gonna grab it and like take it back to his house and hold it until I get back. It's actually a cause for a funny story. Last year, I used my work bonus check to buy an Oculus for VR chat and stuff, and I gave the same local friend, I gave him a key to my place, my spare key. And let me just say, don't get spare keys from Walmart if you can help it, because this spare key that I got, I'm convinced was designed by Satan. It did not cooperate with my friend at all. He was standing at my door. So basically, what I told him what to do, I said, "Hey, this package just arrived. I'm not going to be home until basically the next day. So can you please go to my house, unlock my door, just push the package in the door, and then close the door and lock it?" And he said, "Yeah, sure, no problem. I got you." So I left my key somewhere where he could find it, and he ended up standing after he pushed the package in. He stood at my door for, he told me it was like 20 minutes or maybe half an hour trying to get my door to lock without breaking the key. And I felt very bad. Like he texted me, he said, "Okay, well, the package is in your house, but it took me about half an hour to lock your door." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry." He's like, "It's okay. I just," he wasn't so worried about the timing. Like he didn't have anywhere to be or anything. He didn't mind. It was just that he said he felt sus trying to lock that door, and he was really worried that somebody was going to come out of their apartment and see him like fiddling with the door and just being like, "Hey, what you doing there? Well, what you trying to break in? What's going on here?" And then he would have to explain to them. But thankfully, nobody came around. Like nobody. I was very surprised. Nobody left their apartment. Nobody came in. Nothing. Like there were no neighbors anywhere in sight. And he was somehow able to get the door locked. And he said he wasn't going to do that again. I'm like, I don't blame you. So how about this? If this thing gets here but before or after I'm gone, can you please grab it from my doorstep, take it with you back to your house, and just hold it until I come back? And he was like, yes. So I'm not going to put him through that again. I'm very thankful to have friends who are willing to help out, but for the love of all that is holy, people, please have the proper equipment for your home if you're going to ask for a favor. Like, I should have left him my main key because the way that my spare key works is you have to jimmy it a certain way so that it'll lock the door and unlock it. Like you have to. So those of you who live on their own or who have lived in a house that just have those weird little quirks about it, and one of them being like how to unlock a door. Sometimes you have to like angle the key a certain way or like pull it out slightly or like push it in a certain way. You know what I mean? Like those of you who have ever lived anywhere with a quirky house, you understand what this is. Like for example, when I was growing up, the the back door of my parents' house, you had to put the key in and then you had to like turn it all the way one way and then basically turn it back slightly in order for it to unlock. It was weird. So like you'd think, okay, turn it one way unlocks the door. No, you had to turn it all the way and then like slightly back a little bit and then it would pop the lock. So I don't understand how some of these things come to be, but that's beside the point. So yeah, this thing is coming in. I'm really excited. I can't wait for all of you to see it too. Some of you can probably guess what it is, but I'm not going to say, only because you will see it announced on Twitter, YouTube, and all my good social media places. So yeah, so I'm excited for that. And for Furry Week in Atlanta coming up. So if any of you are going to FWA this year, please come up and say hi. I would love to see you. I cannot wait to see you and get to meet you. So I'm looking forward to it. Please do come up and say hi and ask for hugs and a picture. I will provide. Um, let's see. I got my little notepad here. I can't read my own handwriting. Oh yeah, there is a new ASMR on my channel, so it has done very freaking well in the past couple days. It's only been like 2 days, and like it's already at a great like a great place. It's basically not. I don't want to say it's blown up, but it's gotten so much good feedback, and I'm glad to see that you're all enjoying it. So I will leave a link in the description if you'd like to see it. Feel free to check it out. Oh, hold on 1 second. I got something, a pressing matter. Be right back. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. Um, right now I have a cat that is using me as a pincushion because he needs to sit on Dad's lap. Um, what was I talking about? Oh yeah. The ASMR did very well. I want to give a shout out to Trip Wadog for hooking me up and editing the video that video. I decided to hire him for some editing because he was looking for some work. So I was able to kind of help him, and in turn he helped me. So thank you, Trip. Shout out to you, Trip Wadog, for excuse me, for providing your services. I could not thank you enough. Um, speaking of speaking of editing and such, um, I mentioned, I don't know if I mentioned it in the past that I want to do a charity live stream at some point, and I intend to do that. However, I've given it a time actually. Um, I've given it kind of a time frame. I was like, okay, so I want to do a charity live stream. Unfortunately, my plans to originally do one kind of fell through. And to those of you who are aware of Spectre the Wolf, who unfortunately has passed away since August, I mentioned him in the past. He and I were actually planning to do a charity live stream together, and he ended up passing away, and that never happened. So that kind of put a damper on the whole thing. Unfortunately, it yeah, my motivation for it kind of dwindled after he passed, and it never really came back. So I decided what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to wait until I hit a particular milestone on the main channel. So I thought, okay, I'm gonna wait till I hit 5,000 subscribers because it's a good round number, and I want to be sure that we have enough contributors to the charity, so I can set a decent goal for whichever charity we decide on. Now that may sound a little too specific or logistical, but I think it's kind of the vibe that I'm going with. So hopefully we can make it happen at 5,000. So now we wait. Um, let's see. Other than that, I've been preparing for a couple other things. Um, one of the one of the things besides FWA that I've been preparing for is not only spring, but and the seasons to come, but I have a number of cons coming up kind of in a row. So we have FWA this coming week, and then um, we have let's see, Anthro, Ohio right after that, which is like Memorial Weekend, and then right after that is Colossal Con. So that's beginning of June. I will be there. I'll be at all three of those, and then after that we got a little bit of time, and then Anthrocon is a month after that, and then after Anthrocon it is Megaplex at the end of August. And after Megaplex, it's Wapapa in October. And unfortunately, I'm going to have to miss IFC this year because it is literally the week right before. Um, it's a week right before Megaplex, so I'm not going to be able to do that. So, um, let's see what else I have. I'm going to go back to my list here. I did get an interesting comment from somebody not too long ago. Somebody said I give off mommy vibes. So shout out to that person who said that. I'm not sure why. Maybe it's the maid thing. I don't know. Could be the maid thing, or just could be the nurturing thing, caring nurturing thing. I was like, what? No dad vibes, and like, nah, mommy vibes. So I'm like, all right, bet. That's all right. I'm cool with that. So so mommy vibes it is. I might have to make like a Sparkles ASMR and see how that goes. So that's something I'll never forget. Speaking of things I'll never forget, there was an event that I went to over this weekend. It actually was supposed to be two events, but it turned out to be one because of inclement weather. So, um, every month or so, there is a what's called the Gallery Hop or the Fur Walk in Columbus, Ohio, which is the capital of Ohio. And basically, a bunch of fursuiters get together, a bunch of us being like 100 some, and we excuse me, we walk the streets of Columbus in fursuit. Unfortunately, this one in particular could not go because it was raining pretty hard, and we don't want wet dogs in the rain. You know, fursuits and rain do not mix. So unless your fursuit is waterproof, in which case go right ahead, but still, not recommended. So after usually following the fur walk is a an event called Prance, which is put on by our very own Shutter Bear Dog and Coda Fox. Um, and it was a good time. We got down there about 9 o'clock, which is about a 2-hour drive from me, by the way. And so I left here fairly late. I was doing some YouTube stuff, editing and whatnot, and I looked at the clock. I was like, oh, it's 6. So, because you got to plan this stuff in advance, like you gotta get yourself going by 6 o'clock, so you can shower, get ready, and put on all your stuff, and then leave. So, I opted to put on a very peculiar outfit, which included, but is not limited to, a skin tight spandex outfit with a harness, some very long knee high socks, and arm warmers. Asexual colors, by the way, so shout out to gray aces all over the place. Um, a collar, and I put on a t-shirt and shorts over that. So I'm wearing the harness underneath all of this, like underneath the shirt and the shorts. But I didn't think this through, and I'm carrying my fursuit head, right? Because basically I'm gonna arrive at the venue and we're gonna have a good time. And I didn't think this through. I was walking out of my house, and I uh, I didn't realize that there were neighbors around. So yeah. There were a couple neighbors who was sitting out on a stoop and having a smoke, and I just walked right on by them. Didn't even look up, but they were looking at me the entire time. Now you got to think, I'm wearing a skin tight red suit, harness underneath that, which you probably can't see too well, a collar, carrying a fursuit head and a bag, shorts and a tank top or a t-shirt, and Chuck Taylor shoes. I look like something straight out of a fanfic novel. It does not look good. And I'm walking to my car and they are mad dogging me. They're staring me down the entire way through, and I was like, "Oh, this is not good." So yeah, um, that's that was fun. And the minute I got in my car and started driving away, they immediately retreated and went back inside. Probably because they didn't want me to think that I was looking at them. But I was. I was looking right at you guys, looking at me. So can't fool me. So Prance was fun. It's at this little local place down in Columbus, and basically, I like to describe it. It is a furry convention rave without the convention. So we just go there, you have a couple drinks, you see some friends, and you dance all night, and that's exactly what I did. I was in my little outfit, and I danced until probably 2 in the morning, and I was trying to put out feelers because I'm 2 hours away from home. Like, hey, anybody got space for a kitty fox to crash? And I asked a couple people, and they're like, oh, sorry, can't. I got someone over, whatever. I got to work tomorrow. And by the way, I just want to point out it sucks having to work on Sunday. I've done that before. I've had a job where I worked at on Sunday for the better part of like 5 to 10 years, volunteer work, and then as an actual paid job. Don't recommend it. If you can somehow get a 5 work day week consisting of Monday through Friday, I highly recommend that. However, some people function just fine on weekend shift. So, hey, nothing wrong with that, right? But, when you're a furry, it's very hard to get a weekend job. I just want to point that out. So, that being said, I went down there, had a great time, danced with some people. I got to see some friends and meet some people IRL that I only met online before. I got to rekindle some things with some old friends and had some heart to hearts with some. And so shout out to all of you, and shout out to Shutter and Coda for putting on a great night event, and had some awesome DJs playing. So. Yeah, if any of you are in the Ohio area or nearby, Columbus area, then please check out Prance. Go follow them on Twitter, and they do their events usually monthly or bi-monthly, depending on when they can make it work. But yeah, that was a good time. Very glad I went, and I just want to point out I ended up getting um, room space from somebody, and I promptly sardined in the bed with them in their room because there was no other place to go. And I was like, well, yeah, we're gonna have to make this work. And let me just say, was up until like 4 in the morning yesterday because I couldn't fall asleep for whatever reason, and we were all squished together in this queen size bed, and it was very cuddly, I have to admit, but it was also very hot. It was warm. That's probably why I couldn't sleep, because it was warm. It was hot. So, thank you for shout out to Nyla for accommodating me, but that was very warm sleepies. So, I don't regret it. It was a good time. Oh, I also got a very lovely homemade bracelet from a very lovely individual named Wolfie. So thank you, Wolfie, for the bracelet. It says Awu. I'm gonna wear this to work tomorrow probably, and probably for the rest of the week. So I'm very happy with it. Also, I wanna ask a very unrelated question. Why is it that on iPhones you can get the voice feature on Discord? In other words, when you send a voice message on Discord, how come it works on iPhone but not Android? I don't get that. I have both. I have an Android and I have an iPhone 11. So my Android is like the A54, I believe, the Galaxy A54, and then the my iPhone is an iPhone 11. Um, I got it secondhand because of filming purposes. But anyhow, yeah, why is it that the microphone option only works on the iPhone app of Discord and not the Android app? I don't get it. I'm looking up resources and forums. I can't understand why it doesn't work on Android. It's so frustrating. I mean, I'm more of an Android stan. I like my Androids, I like my PCs, but Apple takes the cake on this one. I'm sorry to people who are not Apple fanboys, but this doesn't make sense to me. Why doesn't it work? I like to send voice messages to people, and it doesn't work on Android. It makes no sense. So if any of you techie nerds have an answer, then please hit me up. I would love to hear from you. That's a little rant for you. Oh, speaking of weird occurrences, there has been what I can only describe as a cat in heat outside of my patio door for the past 2 nights. It's been the same cat every time. Like it's this. I can tell it's a female because they're smaller, but and also I can tell just by the way that they're acting, um, as much as you can tell by a feline. Um, I've raised cats all my life. I can kind of tell the difference between a male and a female cat. Anyway, so the cat is constantly coming to my patio door and harassing Archie. I don't know why. It makes no sense. Well, it does make sense. What am I saying? I just said it. This cat is clearly in heat because it is that season. Archie is fixed, so because Archie is fixed, he cannot indulge in the nasties. And he is constantly looking out the window for this cat and like listening to it. And this cat, this tuxedo cat, which I'm pretty sure has a home because they look pretty healthy and well fed and they don't seem feral, um, knows that Archie's in here and will try to get in. And thankfully, I have the door blocked off so that it can't get in. But Archie will sit at the window for like an hour just watching this cat like out there. The first night that she came up, he was not happy. Like he was growling, he was meowing, like the high decibel meow that starts like with a low frequency and then that grows like that, you know. So and this it's really interesting. This cat that keeps coming to my window, she has a meow that sounds very much like she's saying a hello, and it's really cute. It's just like hello, hello. It's like that, and I was like, what is this creature outside? Because when Archie started going off, like when he started acting up and all crazy, I was like, oh, he sees like a raccoon or a deer or a coyote or something. We got a bunch of those around where I live, so it's really no surprise as to why he's acting like this. And heaven forbid it's a human outside just stalking, but thankfully it's not. No, so is this cat. So I don't care what the cat says. I am not letting it in. It is not happening. Uh, Archie and that cat will get into it, and there's only going to be one standing left. So that's not happening. Still interesting how that how that's all been playing out. So it is not happening. Sorry. Sorry, lady. You're gonna have to find another beau for your needs, I guess. Oh, so I wanna mention real quick, because I gotta wrap this up here in a minute, but Um, the first thing I did when I got home today from Columbus was I promptly like plopped on my chair and I watched one of my favorite movies of all time, No Country for Old Men. Now, I don't care how many movie nerds are out there who are gonna probably fight me on this, but I have to say probably one of the best movies ever made, if not the best movie ever made. Not just by cinematics, by writing, by like camera work, audio, everything. Like everything about this movie I love. And it is a masterpiece. Believe it or not, I hadn't seen it since like until I didn't see it until like a couple years ago, and then I've watched it probably every single month for the past 2 years, and I just love it. Like very seldom does it happen that I have a uh what was I saying? Very seldom does it happen that I have a movie. I lost my train of thought for a second. That I have a movie that pops up that almost immediately becomes one of my favorite movies of all time. And yeah, so shout out to the Coen brothers and all their crew for making a banger movie. I've always loved the Coen brothers and what they do. Like I loved The Big Lebowski. I loved Oh Brother Where Art Thou. I think they also did. No, that was Tarantino. Oh man, there's like they've done a lot of stuff, and I love their work. So there's another Coen Brothers movie that I'm blanking on, but I can't remember. Oh, duh, Raising Arizona. That's one of my other favorites. So yeah, I love it. I love it to death. It was like I just had that itch when I was driving on that long drive home. I was just like, man, I really need to watch No Country. Like it's been a month since I've seen it last, and I need to see it again. So I came home and I watched it because I ain't no chump, right? But no, but Yeah, I love it. I love it to death. It's one of my favorites of all time, and it's kind of getting me in the mood, like the southern mood, I guess, for FWA, which kind of makes sense, I guess. But it's all part of the process, right? So, so yeah, highly recommend No Country if you haven't seen it yet. One of the greatest movies of all time, in my opinion. So yeah, I think that about covers everything I wanted to talk about. I know that my work crew or my coworkers are going to be making fun of me here in the next couple days for leaving again. But here's the thing. I love it when companies do this. I love when companies um, take their policy and just with it, just mess with it, right? Um, for example, the company I work for, they are very generous with time off, and I think they are aware of this. So, depending on how long you work there, you get a certain amount of vacation hours and a certain amount of sick time hours. The sick time hours are static; they never change. It's always 40 hours per 40 hours per year. And then vacation time varies depending on how long you've been with the company. So in this case, I've been with the company for about 2 years, so I only get technically 40 hours of vacation. But ever since I've worked there, they have the system where you can accumulate or accrue hours from the previous year. So I have currently like 100 some hours of vacation saved up, which, by the way, I have to use by the end of this year. And that is because next year they will be poof, go away. Like they're not going to be doing accruement of vacation time anymore, which sucks because some people rely on that. And there's some people who have like over 150 hours of vacation that they need to use. And I don't know if that costs the company anything, but it doesn't make sense to me. Why don't they just keep it? Is it really bothering anything? Is it like, are people taking too much time off? What's the deal? Like, is productivity going down for that reason? Why you gotta mess with our vacation time like that? But I don't know. All I know is I have to use that vacation time before the end of the year. So somehow use 100 hours before the end of the year, and that's not going to be easy. Thankfully, I have a good amount of conventions saved up, which is why I'm taking time to do so many conventions this year because I have to use that vacation time. And some of you may be saying, "Well, why don't you just take like a whole week vacation?" I can't do that. I just can't. Like 1 week of vacation is too much for me. I'm good after like a couple days, like, a convention typically is like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That's good enough for me. Like, and Wednesday or Monday is traveling. So like Wednesday or Thursday maybe travel days, and Monday's another travel day, and then I have um, like part of Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday to enjoy the convention usually, and that's good enough for me. By that point, I'm good and I can get back to work, no problem. So, it would be nice to take a vacation for a whole week, like if I could go to Europe or something, but I don't have those, those resources just yet to do that. But that being said, um, yeah, that it doesn't make sense to me why this company is doing that to their employees. You got to do what you got to do, but still, it's just it irks me. It makes me feel weird. Like why even bother? You know what I mean? Oh man, about 40 minutes of this. Pretty cool. I didn't think we'd make it this far, but yeah, it is currently 12:13 a.m. On Sunday night. So I think I'm gonna wrap this up right here. Just a reminder to any of you, feel free to go check out the new ASMR on the channel. Feel free to come up and say hi to me at Furry Week in Atlanta this coming week. I'm really excited. Yeah, come on up, say hi. Ask for a picture and a hug, and I shall provide. I'm really excited for this con. It's been on my bucket list for a very long time, so I can't believe it's actually happening. Like I'm so ready. Other than that, I want to wish you all a very good week. And in typical podcast fashion, I just want to leave you with the same encouraging words that I do on most of my streams and my videos and here as well. And that is, Remember the phrase, sic Parvis Magna. This is what the channels were built on, and the phrase translates from Latin to English, and it means greatness from small beginnings. Just remember that we all had a beginning. You had a beginning on your journey, and if you look back to where you started to where you are now, I'm willing to bet that things look very different and a lot better than they used to. Just remember that your journey is not over and you are on your way to greatness. And if you put your mind to it, you can accomplish anything. And yeah, just remember that you have a purpose to fulfill and you're not done yet. So when you feel like giving up, just remember that you have it in you. You are loved and and only you can do things the way that you can. And with that, I say always be yourself. Be you. Nobody else can be you. There has never been anyone like you in this entire world. There will never be anyone like you in this entire world, and there is no one like you right now. So only you can do things the way that you can do it. And that's what makes you unique. That's what makes you special. As cliche as that sounds, it actually is very true. So remember to be honest with yourself, be honest with others, and that's what makes you interesting. So until next time, this is Samson KittyFox. Thank you all for listening. I really enjoyed chatting with you, and I hope you enjoyed my rambling. So until next week, I will see you then. Bye. Bye bye. Love you all. Have a great night.